What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for the weekend best bets. It is the 15th of May, and it is all to play for this weekend in the Premier League and plenty of other leagues as well. We've got the title, relegation in Europe in the Premier League, relegation in La Liga, super duper exciting, Europe for Germany, and lots more. So make sure you drop a like, subscribe, as we are closing in on 60,000 subscribers. We are less than 300 away. So thank you so much for all of your support. If you want extra Full 90 content, exclusive tips and accumulators, a chance to win $100 in all the giveaways that we do, everything else like that, shout outs and videos, group chats, messaging to me, then you can check out the Patreon using the link in the description. But like I said, it's the weekend best bets, and if I check the number for you here, today I have 87 tips / accumulators from 20 different leagues. So that is a lot of leagues, 20 of them, and that also doesn't include any extra ones we come up with on the fly later on in the stream. So we've got the chat in, Yuri's in, Shy Guy is back. I love seeing all of you here. If you guys don't know, I do these weekend best bet show every single Friday when the season is on, of course, at around about 5 to 6 p.m. Anywhere from 4 to 6 p.m. I'll be live, so subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss that. But now, let's get straight into the top leagues. Up $400 from yesterday, we up, let's go. It was a good day yesterday. Let's carry on now. So, first of all, we have the Premier League. I'm probably gonna move myself over here, actually. That's probably makes a lot more sense. You can see all of the numbers and everything like that. Might even move myself a little bit further over. League coming to an end. Give your best, like always. I will absolutely do it. And of course, yes, the season is coming to an end for a lot of countries. Germany, in particular, this week the season wraps up. But with regards to the full 90, it's full steam ahead. We have Europa League, Champions League still, and then the World Cup in the summer and transfer stuff, and then we do it all again. So, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get straight in. Let's get stuck in to everything here. First of all, tonight, Aston Villa, Liverpool. Liverpool are getting shorter and shorter as the day goes on. I'm going to go with Liverpool double chance as my first pick. Remember, these are not accumulators. These are just singles that will show up as an accumulator. If I have a specific ACCA, I will let you know. So, Man United to beat Forest, Brentford to beat Palace. I think Everton will beat Sunderland, but for the purpose of this stream, I'm going to leave that alone. I also think that Brighton will beat Leeds, but for the purpose of this stream, I'm going both teams to score. You'll know from my Premier League video that the Wolves and Fulham game, I do think both teams to score is a good shout, but I'm actually going to go for Fulham win. Newcastle, West Ham, I'm going both teams to score, so I'm going to add the Fulham win there. Arsenal, I'm going to go for Arsenal win to 0. It can be 1-0. Just got to win. And then Man City to win the FA Cup final in the 90 minutes. World Cup got me excited. Exactly. Last weekend, I won my first 10 odds thanks to your picks. Let's go. Lovely. Lovely. Watching from Nigeria. Let's go, James. So this is not a 40-1 ACCA recommendation. I mean, if you're feeling brave, by all means go for it, but these are all singles. So what is the ACCA for the Premier League / FA Cup this weekend? I am going to keep Manchester United in there. I'm going to keep Brentford in there. And then it's going to be Manchester City to win the FA Cup in regular time. I don't mind Man City winning an FA Cup. I wouldn't mind Chelsea winning it. Whatever has to happen for Chelsea to beat Spurs and West Ham to beat Newcastle and Arsenal to beat Burnley, that's what I want. And who knows, maybe Bournemouth can also come up with the goods against Manchester City. But these aren't even included in the weekend best bets because they're next week. But BTTS for Bournemouth Man City looks good as well. And BTTS Chelsea Spurs, honestly, I don't mind either. But that is the Premier League treble. Now we move over to Spain. And the first look we have here, I'm going to go for the both teams to score market. So these games all take place on Sunday. Also tonight, real quick, I mean, if you want a cheeky little double, Castellón and Cordoba basically doubles your money, 1.84. That's all I'll say. But I'm going to go for the both teams to score market. Atletico Madrid, Girona, yes. Levante, Mallorca, that is a massive game. Levante still fighting for their lives in relegation. The table is absolutely mental. I can't show you the table from this tab, but we can always have a look at it later. I think Rayo Vallecano, Villarreal, both teams to score. Sevilla, Real Madrid, both teams to score. And then a full-time result, I have Alaves winning away against Real Oviedo and Barcelona winning and both teams scoring. But obviously, you're going to want to go for the early payout method. So that comes in at 0.05 less. But if Barcelona take a 2-0 lead and blow it, this will still win. Did you always do today's game in the Prem? I did. So the main thing I would say with Aston Villa Liverpool is to look at the lineups, because we don't know how Villa are going to line up. We saw how they lined up against Spurs with a Europa League semi-final on the horizon. So how are they going to line up against Liverpool with a Europa League final on the horizon? Which is, to be fair, it's 5 days away. So that is long enough away for you to play full strength and rest and rotate, but it's all about mitigating risk, trying to find the perfect balance. Aston Villa only need a point, really, so they'll be looking for that. But yeah, this game is more important with regards to their Premier League finish for Aston Villa, because they drew to Burnley. If they beat Burnley, then they could fully rotate and rest here and Liverpool could get a free win. But ultimately, I do think Liverpool don't lose. And that's why I'd side with Liverpool double chance. Maybe Liverpool double chance on both teams to score. Last week, double money, Como and Juventus. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You did ask for a double your money, and I said Juventus Como was the sure thing. They both won 1-0. So it was kind of close. But these are the picks for La Liga. And I am actually going with Sevilla, Real Madrid, Atletico Girona, and Barcelona, and both teams to score for the La Liga treble at 6.05. Both teams scoring Liverpool, Aston Villa. So yeah, I do think both teams to score does happen. But as I've said to members over on my Patreon as well, err on the side of caution. Maybe wait just another hour and a half or so for the lineups to come out. Granted, the odds do move with the lineups, so the odds are going to reflect any massive change. So if Aston Villa field a very weak side, then the odds will change before probably you get the time. A hair floating in front of the camera there, before you get the time to make your pick, but still better safe than sorry in my opinion. Or if you want the risk, you could do Liverpool double chance now, and then if Aston Villa do field a weak lineup, that gets a lot shorter and you've kind of made money. But similarly, if Villa go full strength, then it gets longer and you might be not getting the best value for money. But there is the Spanish treble. Now Serie A is a bit of a tricky one. So you might know from my video, I think all the favourites basically are going to win this week in Serie A. I think the top 7 are all going to win. So that's what I'm going with. Como, AC Milan, Juve, Napoli, Roma, Inter, and I'm going to leave it there. I do think Atalanta as 7th will also win, but Bologna they're against are in 8th. I'm leaving the rest alone. There's too much on the rest. You've got Sassuolo, Lecce. Sassuolo a better team at home, but Lecce fighting for their lives. Udinese, Cremonese fighting for survival, and then Cagliari, Torino, it's a dead rubber, means nothing. So it's these 6 for the picks, but I'm doing something a little bit different. Instead of a treble, I'm just going to recommend all 6 together, to be honest. 7 odds, I quite like it. Where does this potentially fall apart? You've got to look at the odds, and it is AC Milan away against Genoa. They've got a freak result in them. I mean, the last 3 games in Serie A, last game week, ended 3-2 to the away side. Napoli lost 3-2. I think AC Milan lost 3-2. There are a lot of weird results, but yeah, I'm going for that. Besiktas prediction, please. I think Besiktas win today. Are they playing right now? They're probably playing right now. So there's the Italian one. Let's take a little look. If we scroll down to the Turkish league, if they are playing, it will be on this page. They are not, so they must be kicking off somewhat soonish. If we go to top leagues, scroll down to the Super League, they kick off in 45 minutes. I think Besiktas to win is decent odds. If you don't like that, if you're scared of that, go for both teams to score. Alternatively, you could always go for the double here, 1.83. I like that a lot, but that's what I would go with regards to Besiktas. Now it's time for the Bundesliga, where all of the games take place on Saturday, 2:30. It's the final day for the Bundesliga. So Bayer Leverkusen to win, Bayern Munich and both teams to score. This is big. Hoffenheim and Stuttgart, both to win, both chasing down a Champions League spot, similarly with Bayer Leverkusen. But I think with a win here for Stuttgart, they would get it, which is absolutely insane. Besiktas might lose. Of course they will, but I still think there's decent value on going for them. Werder Bremen, Borussia Dortmund, I'm going for both teams to score. I haven't written it down here, but I'd like to also side with Heidenheim in one way, shape or form. So you could always do Heidenheim double chance and both teams to score at 1.86. But these are the Bundesliga picks, as well as RB Leipzig draw no bet against Freiburg. I think that's very, very cool. With the Bundesliga, as it is the last game, I'm going to go a little bit rogue. Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich and Stuttgart, all to win and both teams to score. Remember, do the early payout method. So here, 11.09. Let's change that to the results. And then we add both teams to score. And it's only a little bit less at 10.39, but it keeps failure to hold on to their lead onside should they take a 2-goal lead. So that's still 10-ish to 1. using that method, and it's much more likely to win. Now for France, I've got a few picks here. Brest to beat Angers at home. Lille as well. Lorient, I don't mind them to win at 2.55. They're actually underdogs here, but I am going to go for both teams to score. Lyon and Lens, both teams to score. Marseille and Rennes, both teams to score. Then Nice to win, and Strasbourg, Monaco, both teams to score as well. It's a bit difficult with regards to PSG. They lost the last Paris derby, but I don't know. Yes, they could win. PSG were quite lucky to beat Lens 2-0. Lens were absolutely battering them, but they just managed to get over the line. They've already won the league. The Champions League finals in a couple of weeks. I don't know. You think Toulouse win? Maybe. I think it will be... I could see it going either way. I think these odds are fair. It could be either winner or a draw. I do think it'll actually be a draw. But these are my French picks, and I'm keeping it pretty straightforward with the lower league winners, the lower odds Ligue 1 winners treble with Lille, Nice, Metz are terrible, and I am going to go Lyon. I think Lens, taking a lot out of them with that game against PSG. They now can't finish above second, and Lyon are fighting for Champions League. So that's my logic there. A little winners treble. Now we go to some more top leagues here. We're starting with the Netherlands, where I've got a bunch of winners. Firstly, we're going with Heerenveen, Ajax, both teams to score. The odds have got even shorter. Wow. And then I've got a few more winners. AZ, Utrecht, NEC, Feyenoord, and Groningen is there. I'm leaving PSV alone because Twente are actually quite good. I don't mind both teams to score here at 1.33, or even PSV and both teams to score at 3. Kaz says Liverpool trash even when they are at full strength. They're not trash though, are they? They're not as good as people expect them to be, but I wouldn't call them trash. Now for Portugal, it's a straightforward 7, not a sevenfold, but it's 7 winners, and it's who you'd expect. I don't have much more to say on the Portuguese picks other than these 7 winners. Normally, I might go for an unders. I might go for a win to nil with the likes of Porto, Sporting, which is possible. It's likely. Benfica looking to go invincible and finish 3rd in the league, which is absolutely insane. But you know, you've got to get more wins than draws. You've got to get fewer draws. Just convert a few of those draws, and all of a sudden you've got a great invincible season. But people are using this Benfica story to discredit the achievement of Arsenal in the Premier League. But that's just not the case. Arsenal protected their invincible status and won the league. If Benfica go invincible but lose the league, that's not a good season, because they've settled for too many draws that clearly they were capable of winning because they were unbeatable in the league. So yeah, I don't think you can discredit Arsenal and, Bayer Leverkusen, for example's achievements because Benfica did it technically but didn't win the league, because that's something that Arsenal and Leverkusen didn't do. Anyway, we move on to Austria now. There's a slight typo there. Just fix that. Europe, weekend, full-time result. Here we go. So for Austria, I've got Salzburg to win, Lask to win, and Sturm Graz to win, and then both teams to score. I really like the odds here for Altach and Reed. Both teams to score double. My heart say Arsenal bottle the league. Wow. Eesh, that is rough. I hope you're wrong. Besiktas game both teams to score. I agree. Will the video be available offline? Having internet services issues with my service provider? Absolutely yes. That's the thing about these. That's why for the intro to this live stream, I start it like a video, because once the live stream is over, you can then go back to the channel and watch it, and it plays like a normal video that I've recorded, edited, rendered, and uploaded. So they are the Austrian picks for this week. We've had 6 out of 7 Austrian correct picks over the last 3 weeks, so we're absolutely nailing it. We were 1 goal away from Rapid Vienna last week to go 7 out of 7 3 weeks in a row, 100%, but it wasn't to be. So we now move on to another league that has treated us quite well. It is Belgium. I like the odds of Genk to beat Standard Liège. I like the odds of Anderlecht to win, and then I've got both teams to score for Ghent and Club Bruges fixtures there and there. Don't mind that as an Accas, actually. The odds for Genk to win are quite high, but I do like it. I do like it. Denmark now, we've just got a straightforward winners treble. Not going to overcomplicate Denmark, because I had a good run and started adding a lot of both teams to score, a lot of other picks, and things started getting a little bit messy. So straight up going for home comforts here with Copenhagen, Odense, and Midtjylland. And I also don't hate that as a winners treble. So, yeah, pretty good. Besiktas double chance is also a good shout. Not a bad double for tonight, actually. If you go top leagues, double chance, Aston Villa and Besiktas. That nearly doubles your money if you go the next 12 hours just to get a proper look at it. And then if you want to add Saint Etienne or Patrick as well, I think they both win. To be honest, that triples your money, and there'd have to be quite a shock there for that not to happen. Namely, I would say probably Besiktas losing is the most likely. But yeah, I think Patrick at home and Saint Etienne at home surely get at least a draw. So that, honestly, if I used to absolutely smash the double chance Accas over on Patreon. I haven't done one in a while, actually. But I really like that. So, I mean, you can come back in just a few hours on the stream and see how this one went. But in terms of tonight, having the draw on your side as well, I'd go with those four as that. Who will win the Scottish League? I think Celtic's last-minute penalty definitely gives them the edge. I think Celtic will win the league on the final day. But yeah, crazy stories over there. We've now got Greece. I've got 2 high odds picks for Greece that I will show you now as soon as I can get there. Just got to find the Greek Super League. So there's where are they? So these games were not on here for before, but these 2 were, because obviously they're bigger games. So these are the ones I'm sticking with. But it's going to be under 3.5 goals and both teams to score. A little bit annoying that went back to this menu and not the game that I was on, but both teams to score. And then PAOK Salonika double chance and under 2.5 goals. I also don't hate this as a double. Very high odds, but BTTS and under 3.5 for this game. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 either way. And then I think this could be a 1-0 PAOK win. So that is what I'm going with. Now we move on to Norway, where I've got 6 winners and a cheeky little result on both teams to score. And if you follow me, you probably know where that one's going. But Brann, then I think I'm leaving Fredrikstad alone. Lillestrøm, Molde, Rosenborg, Viking, and then both teams to score with a Bodo Glimt win at 2.75. Man City better than Arsenal. Fair enough. That's your opinion. 3 to 4 leg Accas, top 3 Prem, La Liga, Bundesliga. We'll do that with the requests very soon. Kicking off firstly with Sweden, which has been very good for us since we brought that to the channel a couple of weeks ago. Obviously had that 7-fold as well. GAIS to win. Elfsborg to win. Hammarby to win against Malmo. Malmo have been quite disappointing, actually. And then both teams to score for Mjölby and Häcken. And both teams to score as well, when I scroll down here, for Djurgården and Sirius. So we did have, like I said, the 7-fold Swedish Accas come in. So if you fancy backing your Swedish football, I'd go with that. Even though I talk crap, I love the content, brother. Keep the good work. Give some crazy picks sometimes, more often than not. Exactly, that's it. No one can be correct all the time, but we are correct more often than not. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good, certainly a good start. Now we do have the Turkish League. I'm going for 4 winners straight up. Besiktas, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and Istanbul Başakşehir. But I would be inclined to go Besiktas draw no bet, to be honest. The odds are still pretty good, so yeah. Will YouTube membership and Patreon have the same bets during the World Cup? Yes. Yeah, they will. So Patreon obviously has Ligue 1. YouTube memberships don't. Patreon has direct messaging to me, the group chats, and $100 giveaways. YouTube memberships don't. But in terms of the tips, they have the same thing. So if you want more content and chance to win extra money, then go to Patreon. But if you just want the tips, then YouTube is fine as well. But YouTube, of course, takes a cut of that as well. So if you want to support me more, Patreon is definitely the better place to go. 3-leg Accas got 100 to double thanks to you. Let's go. We can get to that very soon. So I've got a couple picks for, well, I say a couple, but they weren't offering the market that I needed earlier. But I have got Shakhtar Donetsk to win. I want Dynamo Kiev win to 0, but they don't have the option. So, yeah, a little bit frustrating. But now I've got the rest of the world category. Starting in China, I have Shandong Taishan to win. We had Chengdu Rongcheng to win earlier over on the Patreon as my full 90 pick of the day. They won 2-1, odds of 1.7 for them to win. Shandong for me. The India Super League, I have Punjab FC to win. Mumbai City absolutely taking names there. 2 in the J League, Vissel Kobe and Sanfresh Hiroshima, who are the away day teams. And then the Moroccan Cup, I have a couple as well. We have Berkane and Raja Casablanca. And then in the South African Premier League, the Orlando Pirates, who are just here at home against Durban City. So these are the rest of the world. Have a look. And there we go. Can you do top 2 or 1 picks from all the leagues? Maybe your favorite pick. So we can do requests now. Those are all of the tips. That's all 87. So now let's lock in and see what we can do. So 3-leg Akka got 100 to double thanks to you. So you want a 3-leg double. Perfect. So if we look at the top leagues, we look around for the best kind of stuff. We can just blaze through these. So firstly, if you're looking to double, Napoli, Como, Inter Milan. That to me, I know people don't like the Mafia League, but it doubles your money. It is the 2 already relegated teams playing against first and second in the league, right? So there's only 2 teams relegated, and there's only 2 teams in the first and second spot, and they're playing each other. Like, come on. So Napoli, Inter Milan, and then Como, they're chasing Champions League. They're against Parma, who are done. So that looks like a good example of a treble to double your money from Italy. Spain, it is really tricky. I have to say, it's really tricky to find a confident play. Germany, if I had to, I'd go with Bayer Leverkusen. Leipzig, double chance at 1.44. And Stuttgart, draw no bet. That's 2.6. Similarly, you could take off, say, I don't know, you could take off Stuttgart and go for Hoffenheim if you want that. But, yeah. So, there we go. Switzerland Super League prediction. We can have a look. We nailed it yesterday with the Switzerland both teams score treble because all teams did score. Thun got battered 8-3. Mental. But we can take a look at the Super League. I did take a look earlier and I wasn't super convinced on my plays. That's why I left Switzerland out this episode. You know, I don't just do it for the sake of it. I do think Lausanne beat Grasshoppers, and I think Lucerne should win that, but I don't know for sure. Zurich Servette looks like a both teams to score waiting to happen, but wasn't super confident, so there we go. What's up, Matt? How are you, man? I just won $500 on Round Team. I had a good feeling that I'm ready to bet this weekend. Congratulations. 2-day Akka for Bundesliga and Liga and La Liga, do you mean? Okay, yeah, so you're going to want to... I do think Köln score against Bayern, Leverkusen, Hoffenheim, Stuttgart, and Leipzig double chance looks like good value. And then Spain, the next day, BTTS Atletico, Levante Mallorca, Sevilla Real Madrid. That would be my weekend extravaganza mega Akka for Germany and Spain. Bayern winning both teams score, Leverkusen, Hoffenheim, Stuttgart, Leipzig not to lose, and then plenty of goals in there. It's my birthday tomorrow. Any confident plays for today/tomorrow? I need to buy myself something nice. Oh, well, happy birthday tomorrow. Any confident plans for today/tomorrow? So, I mean, today, as I said, I quite like this double chance here. Chesterfield at 1.57 is pretty good, actually. But, yeah, I mean, these 5 get you 4.4. If you take out Chesterfield, you've got these. If you're being super safe and take out Besiktas, you've got a double your money, double chance tonight. I think that's really good. So, yeah. Tomorrow, if we go weekend, we've done obviously the Premier League picks. If you want to look at everything else, you can go for it. If we go for something mental, everyone always asks for these, so we can have a look at these. So Brighton and both teams to score, Fulham and both teams to score, Brentford and both teams to score, like something crazy like that. It's over 40-1, and actually it's only 3 games. And I could see it. I think Leeds, Wolves, they're good for a goal. Palace, good for a goal. But ultimately, I think these 3 teams should be winning, given that Wolves aren't good. Brighton are chasing Champions League, and so are Brentford. So, yeah, very cool there. Last weekend, someone asked for an Akka that you would bet your house on. They did. And that was, I just said Como and Juventus, and that did come in. So, right, this weekend, if there's an Akka that I would bet my house on, it would be Napoli, Como again. It would probably be that treble that I said earlier on to double your money. If we go to the Bundesliga, you could look at goals for Bayern, but look at the odds. They're terrible. Bayer Leverkusen over 1.5 makes it a little bit more. That's the kind of place I'd be looking at is Serie A. Believe it or not, I just do think that they're more the most likely foregone conclusion. You look at the Premier League and it's just so difficult. I do like the odds of West Ham. We're moving past the Bet My House Net, by the way, conversation, but I do like West Ham double chance. The odds were 1.8 when I first tipped it. Now they're 1.66. So it's getting shorter. I do think Man City win, so I'm going to take that off. Arsenal, I mean, they should win, but yeah, I should have taken that Como and Juve. It's very nice, but I just don't bet Serie A. Okay, fair enough. I get it. You know, if you don't bet on them, you don't lose anything. Yes, you might miss out on winners, especially if they're those kind of ones, but you don't lose anything. So it's always a good shout, to be honest. City to beat the Cherries? Yeah, I think so. I think they will do it. I do. Right, a couple more. Let's see what we've got here. Can you do top 2 or 1 picks from most of the leagues? Yeah, we can sort of run through that. I think Brentford to win is a good one. Brighton as well. I want to include Man City in this. And then the other one is going to be, I want to say Liverpool double chance. Aston Villa just have so much more to play for. So that's what we'll go there. The 2 here, yeah, it's Como and Napoli. It's not going to change my mind. Spain is a hard one. It is. That's why I'm going for both teams to score Atletico Madrid and both teams score Sevilla, Real Madrid. Germany, my 2 picks would be Bayer Leverkusen, as rubbish as the odds are, and probably RB Leipzig double chance with Freiburg going to the Europa League. Here, this one's very easy. Lille and Nice, straightforward. Those are my favourite 2 picks per the top 5 leagues. Both teams to score for all the German games? Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Much lower odds than when I tipped it in my video at 70 to 1, but I do think that happens, yeah. Yeah, I do. St. Pauli I'm normally unsure on, but this is the biggest game in their club's recent history. Like, it's absolutely huge. So, yeah. Most likely correct score, we're going to start here with Juventus, 2-0. Napoli, I want to go 3-0, but I might settle on 2-0. We'll go 3-0 for the odds. Then, in terms of other correct scores, let's just have a look through. Anything that we did really well in the Premier League last week. We got 3 correct scores. So I'm wondering if anything jumps out at me here. And I am leaning towards this. And this. Not so sure. And I am also leaning towards that. Germany, correct score. Forget about it. And low-key that as well. Those are probably my favourites. Maybe this one as well. 2-0. Something like that. Yeah, these are the ones. Honestly, great work, man. From your picks, I was able to build a 3D Accas that took me from 11 cents to $72. The potential win was 1,065. It was only one game that messed it up. I mean, hey, 11 cents to 72 is a great return. Lovely stuff. So, yeah, I think these are all pretty good. Mets are garbage. Pisa are garbage. Fiorentina are good, but Juventus are actually pretty solid. I'd love for West Ham to win this game. I don't know if it's in the stars. Do you know what I mean? Brighton to beat Leeds. It's more speculative, but I could very much see it coming in. This one looks good. And these two, it's by how many, you know? And you've got odds of what? 1,670,000. So if you took £1 on it, £1, £1.50, you get the max payout of 2 million. Obviously, they're not all going to come in, but you know, I've had weeks where across my 4 videos, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, I've had weeks where 7 perfect scores come in. Do you remember that Serie A episode where I got 5 out of 10 perfect scores? So it's like they're there. It's just then picking the right ones, because I would say, generally speaking, with my correct scores that do come in, about 80% of them are ones that I would put on a list like this. But there's 20% of correct scores that I get that low-key I wouldn't even expect. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some rogue ones. I mean, if I go to my correct scores list here for you. I can go through the list, and they're all pretty straightforward. So Man City 3-0, yeah. Brighton 3-0, yeah. Real Betis 2-1. Braga 2-1. But then you've got random scorelines like Arsenal Wigan 4-0. That's quite tough. Bayern Munich to win 3-1 against Cologne away from home. That's quite tough. What else do we have in here that's a little bit out of the ordinary? Something like Belgium to win 6-0. Like, yeah, it's a correct score, but it's very specific. You know, Drogheda United to win 1-0. There's some in here that you just don't expect to be the correct score, even if you've picked it. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. North Macedonia to win 3-0. Kazakhstan to win 2-0. Maybe not even the most likely outcome, but, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Can you do a 10 odds accumulator for tomorrow's games? I will end there. I'm not going to give my bets for the Saudi League because I haven't done any research on it, so I'm not just going to guess, to be honest. I've done a lot of work on it today on this, and Saudi League was not included. So I'll do a 10 odds Accas for tomorrow's games, and we will call it there after that. So let's have a look and try and conjure up the best one. I do think both teams to score for Leeds and Brighton is a good shout. Wolves and Fulham as well. Arsenal play on Monday. We are doing a watch along on Big Up for that. If you want to click the link in the description, submit your picks for a chance to win some money and join me. I'll be there watching it live. Italy, that's Sunday, so we're going to leave that out. That's Sunday. Germany, we've got Leverkusen. Bayern Munich, the odds are just so bad. Leipzig double chance I do like, though. Leipzig they're solid, man. They're not solid when you want them to be, but still they're solid. In fact, we can add a few here. Hoffenheim and Stuttgart to bolster it up. And then France, it's Sunday as well. So we're going to go over to Europe and see what else we got. There's a lot of Sunday stuff here. Sunday, big day on Sunday. I mean, damn. It's all on Sunday. Sunday, because I want it to be something that I'm well versed in. I would say Viking FK and probably Bran as well, but you don't even need that really. You could Bodo Glimt double chance it at home, or Bodo Glimt draw no bet. There you go. That's 10 odds for Saturday. So Leeds, Brighton, both teams to score. Wolves, Fulham, Bayer Leverkusen, Leipzig double chance, Hoffenheim double chance, Stuttgart double chance, Viking and Bodo Glimt draw no bet at 10. Okay, final one. 2.0 for a house. So what double am I putting the house on? Like I said, obviously my initial reaction was this. It's a double, it's a treble that doubles your money. But let's think. The house, when it comes to the house, we're leaving La Liga alone. Bayer Leverkusen are in. They are in. Bayern Munich, the odds are too low and we just don't know who's starting. Lille, if we have a little reminder of where we're at on the table, Lille are on 61 points. They can be caught. They have to win to get Champions League. Lille go in. Metz, they are awful. Nice, look at this. They have to win. They're fighting relegation. They have to win. Nice. That would be my other treble, honestly. Matt, if you don't abort me from my Patreon, I'll get all your YouTube channels taken down. You don't own the right to be on my Patreon. You were harassing me in DMs. You asked for a specific accumulator, 5-1. I gave it to you. You didn't follow it. It won, and then you got annoyed at me. If you don't take my advice and then it wins, you don't get to get annoyed at me. Okay? It's as simple as that. You know, if you're, like I said to you before in the DMs, if you were so good at creating accumulators, winning money and winning bets, you wouldn't be coming to me in my DMs. I made you a winning Accas and you didn't follow it because you didn't trust me. There's literally nothing more I can do for you. And then you were harassing other people in the chat. You were disrespecting me in the DMs. So you can keep your money. You won't be charged. I've just suspended your membership. You'll get your money. That's fine. I don't owe you my time if you're going to disrespect me like that. So, yeah, I didn't harass you. You did. You absolutely did. Yeah. So, anyway, you have no bearing as to getting my YouTube taken down. There's nothing you can do about that. if you want to be polite, go for it. But you seem to have this wild view that I or anyone can come up with 100% winners all the time. They can't. So if I give a tip that doesn't come in, don't get angry at me. And you've just asked to be unblocked from my Patreon, but the other day you said to me, I will never trust your Accas again. So which one is it? Do you want my advice? Do you want to ignore my advice? You are a walking contradiction, so it's best that you don't join. That's all I will say. Anyway, that is that. A bit of a sour note to end on, unfortunately. But yeah, all I will say is you don't have the right to harass me in the DMs or anything like that. I will always do my best to help. This guy in the chat, I was messaging him, been messaging him daily for weeks, giving him accumulators that he wants. And like I said, if I give you a winning accumulator, but you decide not to back it, that's not my fault. So yeah, it was one step too far, and it's as simple as that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.